Um, Gee, I don't know where to start. These are lockbacks. They all work about the same. They're a standard old-fashioned lockback, traditional knife, I think. A lot of people call it old-fashioned. I use Damascus on the blades on all of these, stag, ancient ivory, some fancy wood, mocha on the bolsters, some brass, nickel, silver, just very similar style. They're all based on a slimline trapper style. Remington used to make a knife very similar to this. So did K-Bar, so did Winchester, so did everybody in the knife business. The smaller ones are more a gentleman's knife style. I mean, this is very carryable, handy little knife. They lock up nice and tight, and they take a great edge and hold them. They're just kind of fun to do. They're not the switchblades and the automatics, and they're not the grizzlies like I was making before that we talked, Leroy, but it's just something a little different this year. Kind of fun. I get a lot of comments on my beaver pelt. I may have to start bringing those instead of knives, but I can't think of too much else.
How do you do your peening? You use a little ball peen hammer?
Yeah, a ball peen hammer and a little 2-ounce ball peen hammer, and I bring the like on the pivot pin where you can see it more clearly. I grind that down and then take a file to it and get it real close, and then take a 2-ounce hammer and do a little peen. It's countersunk inside somewhat, so it'll fill in, lets it hold, keeps it nice and tight. They should never really loosen up.
You put tape around it or anything like that, or just peen it? You put masking tape around while you're peening?
No, I probably should, but I don't know. No, I don't really need to. The hammer works it. Yeah, afterwards you buff it out, yeah.
You don't use a slacker?
I'm not sure I know what a slacker is.
Like to put a little feeler gauge in there?
Oh, yes, to give it some slack. Yes, I do.
And then you pull it out when you're done?
Exactly. That's exactly right. Yes, exactly what you're saying. Yeah, they have phosphorus bronze washers in there to help them pivot nice and smooth and to keep the blade away from the liner so they don't get scratched.
So some of these style items, like right here, this has got these straight file work on the bolster.
Yeah, that is just for appearance. This one may show it a little better. I do file work on the back, and there's file work on the bolsters there too, and it serves no purpose other than for looks.
About the one you got these little tiny marks on, like little tiny saw cuts.
Where? On the liners?
Yeah.
Yeah, they call that coining. And it's if you look at the edge of a dime, for instance, it's coined all the way around.
Yeah.
That's where you get the name coining, is from that.
Done with a file?
Yes, that's all done with a file. Well, little bit, little bit, but you know it makes it different. And most of these have that. This one has, I think it's got that. Without glasses, I can't tell. Yeah, it's.
So it's all done by eye. You don't lay it out or mark it or anything?
No, I wish I have had no training whatsoever on that sort of thing. I wish I had, but I don't. And but I've got a nice knife collection, and what I do is the knives that I like, I kind of inspired by them, for lack of a better word. And so this looks an awful lot like a Remington or a Winchester lockback from the 1920s. And that's what I copied. These look like slimline trappers from Case, Remington. Everybody in the world, it seems like, makes a slimline trapper. and that's what these are. And then I've got them in a couple of different sizes. This is Mastodon ivory that's nickel silver. That's mocha, which is a mixture of copper, nickel, silver, and brass. And you probably can't see it on film very well, but it gets a really neat pattern, especially as it ages, because the different materials age differently, and so it'll be a lot different than it is now after it gets some patina to it. These are both Mastodon ivory, and this has got just a little bit of fancy work, and then the coining on the liners, I've done that. This has got more coining and more file work on the blades. It seems like I get in kind of a groove and get stuck making something for a while, just like the last year when I saw you, Leroy. I was making those grizzly knives, and I carry one, but not selling them. Yeah, I was making these and selling them last year, but that takes twice as much work as these, and so I guess I got lazy this last year.
Okay. All right, Bob, appreciate it, man.
Hey,
Good to see you again.
it's an honor. It's an honor to have you. It's just nice.